Carolla, Pat, Steve, ETB. By the way, Saturday, stars are coming out. Gloves are coming off. The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race live Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. And Adam has a new book coming out.
I can't wait. When's this out?
It's out. Well, the hardcover's out. The paperback out today.
Ah. In 50 years, we'll all be chicks.
What a great title.
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration here, Adam?
Well, it was Dr. Drew, actually, because many years ago when we were doing Loveline on the radio, you guys know what it's like. You have the guy who always gets there before you,
sure.
and then there's sometimes the guy gets there after you, Pat.
Yep.
I was always the last man walking into that radio station. It was Westwood 1, or as I like to call it, Westwood None, or either Westwood None or Westwood 2. I refuse to call it Westwood 1. There's no way is that one of anything. So the place was a dump, and I used to show up. The show started at 10. I would show up at, 9:58, 59 and a half. I mean, I'd hear the theme song playing, and I'd time it out. You guys know radio.
Right,
It was 10 at night, so I would never hit traffic, and I knew exactly how long. So, I'd show up 30 seconds before the show, and I showed up, and Drew wasn't there. And Drew, you know Drew, he's there.
Yeah.
He's Johnny on the spot. And so I said, where the hell's Drew? And Drew comes in, comes in about 15 minutes late after the show starts. I said, Drew, this is not like you. You never miss a day. You're never late. He says, I got a flat tire. I said, where'd you break down? He said, at home. I said, at home? He said, yeah, I was in the garage. I said, so what, you had to change your tire? No, I had to wait for AAA. I said, you had to wait. I said, AAA came to your house to change your tire? You called AAA to change the tire at your house. When Jimmy heard this, by the way, he called it triple gay. I remember. And I said, why didn't you just change it yourself? You're in your garage, you're at home, you're running late. He said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with that. And I thought, wow, this is sad. And then I went and told every other guy I knew, laughing at Dr. Drew, including Jimmy, and every one of the guys I told gave the, well, what was he supposed to do? And that's when I knew we lost it. When you're talking to dudes.
Lost the edge.
Yeah.
Lost the edge.
Lost the edge, man.
Even when a guy couldn't work on a car, he would still say, pop the hood. Our dads would say, yeah, they pop the hood. And then they'd pop the hood, they'd go around to the front, they'd set their cigarette down on top of the air cleaner for about 10 minutes, they'd do nothing, and then they'd lean their head out and go, try it now. but at least there wasn't a hit on star. I don't know what to do.
First thing my dad would have done, I was going to, exactly.
So
Dad, there's a flat tire. Reach in to light up a cigarette.
Yeah.
Like it was just a normal,
Gotta think
that's
about
you
it.
got to think about it. You take a hit off that, you go, I'll go look at it.
Was there any reversing this? Or is this just our cruel future?
I don't know how to stem this tide of feminization that's sweeping over the nation. I'm sure it will create a super... See, it's going to be this thing where 99% of the population, male population, is going to start lactating in 25 years. And then the rest... But the rest will be cage fighters. You know what I mean? There'll be an
small element
that breaks off from the pack, much like the teabaggers, and starts their own thing. So you're not overcompensates.
So you're not a big fan of metrosexuals then?
I don't. Could you imagine, again, your dad would have had to light up a carton if you explained to him, no, Dad, this cologne is for you and Mom.
No.
It would have been, what? Mine comes in a pine cone. Are you kidding me? No, what do you mean? Like, imagine just the notion of this essence that smells.
Now, Vic sees
both of us.
Either it's a cologne or it's a perfume. It can't be both.
Right.
No.
Which means Lamar Odom is wearing a perfume.
The unisexual fragrance of Lamar and Chloe.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Imagine, I was just picturing some Klansmen driving past that billboard they have up there on Barham, in the just going past there and seeing the huge Mandingo warrior with the
Klansmen.
I don't know if they all carpool. I don't know how the Klansmen. I don't know, they're all in the Prius carpool.
I think they carpool.
I think they do.
They van pool.
They may horse pool.
Now, your podcast, I got to say this, Adam, this podcast you got going on is just unbelievable.
Congratulations.
I mean, people were sort of like tinkering with this idea, but you just jumped into it and said you saw something there that obviously nobody else saw, and it's huge.
I got to say, without bragging.
Brag. This is the way.
All right, I'm going to brag.
Let it go.
Some folks in radio came to me about a year ago and we're talking about a multi-year, multi-million-dollar guaranteed blah, blah, blah. And I said, all right, let's do it. That was about a year ago. And then they waited a year, and they came back, and they were ready to squeeze the trigger. And I said, I think I'm staying with the podcast. So it's become viable, real, and tangible when you're actually walking away from real money and real guarantees and real contracts, especially in this vast wasteland of terrestrial radio. I mean, it's hard to get a gig in this town, especially, and it's become that viable.
How do you get the word out so much? Besides what we're doing now, but you know what I mean? Well, you got famous friends. You've always got.
Crazy. Kim
I'm not making fun of that, but I mean, it's...
Well, it helps. It's pretty viral. I mean, it's like, how does the word get out on any video on YouTube or anything on the computer? I mean, anything that pops up on the computer, somebody has to hear it, and somebody has to tell somebody, and they will, and they do, and they spread it around, and then thus it grows.
And the sparks on stage are unbelievable because you do the podcast live at various venues.
Yeah, I do the podcast live, and then I do a stand-up show live. Oh, by the way, Jimmy Kimmel's joining me at the Will Turn this Saturday night, as a matter of fact.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, the Will Turn. I was thinking about the title. I mean, laziest name for a theater.
Yeah, how'd they come up with that?
Well, geez, what corner are we on, people? We're on Wilshire and Western. What shall we call the theater?
Well, you got an obnoxiously green building. I mean, it really stands out.
Yes.
You know, that...
I always think and there is a worse name of a building on Wilshire, and it is the La Brea Tar Pits. By the way, when you have a pit that is filled with tar and you're attempting to get kids to come look at it, you call it the Pit of Wonderment.
Right.
You don't call it a tar pit.
Right.
I mean,
especially for parents, we're looking for something to do.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you'd avoid. Like if you were taking off at night, someone would go, watch out for the tar pits right at the end of the fence by the old Johnson Mill. Stay clear. Stay right on the road. Tar pit. Could there be anything less alluring than tar? Come on down, kid. Hey, we got tar pits for the kids.
And by the way, it's okay now, but back in the day, Watts Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a tower made of rusty rebar and broken 7-Up bottles and some of the worst parts of town imaginable. Come on down.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't get stabbed by a gangbanger, you get tetanus from leaning against the watchtower. Come on down. It's true. Maybe it's like Smucker's though. Maybe it's like, remember the old jelly?
Sure, Smucker's jelly.
We are so confident in our pit filled with used transmission fluid. We call it what it is. That's how brazen we are. You know you got to be good as a museum.
Adam, I told you, I saw your movie, The Hammer. And if you have not seen this movie, I am telling you, this was one of the best movies I saw that year. I mean, really, I know you produced it, you wrote it, you starred in it, and it's one of those independent movies, because a lot of people make independent movies. This was so well done, and I don't know why it didn't get more recognition. Those that saw it liked it.
Yeah.
But it was one of those where you had to find it if you didn't see it. But if you have a chance, I mean, it's true. Otherwise, more people would be talking about The Hammer.
Yeah, people enjoyed it, which is satisfying, but the whole process is horrific.
I can't even imagine how to even start a process like that.
You're naive. You think, I'll just write a good script.
Yeah, here we go.
And then they go, who's starring in it? And you go, I'm starring in it. And they go, oh, screw that. And that's how it goes. I mean, look, if Tom Cruise would agree to star in whatever you guys got in your locker, it's going to get made. That's how movies get made. They get names attached to them, and then they get made. I can walk through this scary process when we come back.
Wow. Adam Carolla, ladies and gentlemen. The book is, in 50 years, we'll all be chicks.
Yeah, you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Can you hang around one more minute?
Sure.
Here's the best part. At the top of the hour, Adam, we only take a 1-minute break.
Oh, good.
Some people take like 40-minute breaks. We're only off for a single minute. Go wisp. Also coming up in our next hour, Rick Campbell is going to stop on by NBA TV. He's got the latest on how the Thunder are going to try to stop Dirk Nowitzki. Is it possible? Do they have the personnel to pull it off? And Petros is going to be stopping on by as well, asking us to feel his hardness, as he said a little bit earlier.
In the hallway in front of women.
We'll be back in a short minute. More Adam Carolla right here. That's the Cannons on Fox Sports Radio.